आमिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। वेलकम ऑल ऑफ यू। Hare Krishna. So we have completed third chapter, verse number 10 till 9. So we'll begin from verse number 10. So this is the chapter title is as known as Karma Yoga. So we know very well in the beginning Arjuna has asked this question to Krishna. So Krishna, what is important? The sannyas is important, or whatever you said about karma. Basically, Arjuna here is talking about forbidden activities. That is what? Vikarma. So Arjuna is saying, you just trying to engage me in vikarma, that is ghora karma of fighting. But then I think sannyas is better. Please tell me what is important. And immediately Krishna's answer is that Nishkama Karma Yoga is better. And that's why Krishna has answered that Nishkama Karma Yoga in this verse number 3 to 9. So in this, Krishna is talking in the third verse about Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. Yes, there are two types of people who follow Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. And then immediately saying that premature renunciation is discouraged. Till the time person is paripakva, that is completely matured, one should not get into renunciation. So one who is not completely matured should not get into renunciation, and that's why renunciation is very tough, and then you don't think about renunciation. And then the fifth thing he is telling that about inaction is unnatural, it is not natural. The fifth verse is talking about inaction. So basically, Jnana Yoga, which Arjuna is focusing, is all about renunciation and inaction, akarma and vairagya. And then he is telling the vairagya in a premature stage or an immature stage is not good. And second thing he is telling that inaction is unnatural. That means one cannot stay without doing some action. Yeah, person always perform action, and every action brings reaction. And that's why you cannot run away from the reaction which you are trying to do. Then Krishna further is talking about a pretender, a sincere person. So do your duty, that is perform your niyata karma without fail, for it is better than renunciation of action. And then ninth thing he is telling that whatever action you are performing, perform that action for the pleasure of Vishnu. यज्ञार्थ कर्मणो अन्यत्र लोकोयम कर्म बंधन तदर्थम कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्त संग समाचार. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage. इसको बंद रखो प्रेम प्रभु, ये आवाज करता है. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed, otherwise the work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from the bondage. So this Krishna is very clearly talking about Nishkama Karma Yoga here, and this particular Nishkama Karma Yoga is Bhagavad Arpita Nishkama Karma Yoga, that you completely offer the results to Krishna. While offering the results, you consider that whatever sacrifice, whatever action you are doing is for the pleasure of Vishnu. That is most important thing is Yajnartho Karmanya Anyatra Lokoyam Karma Bandhana. And then if you do this particular action for the pleasure of Vishnu, for the satisfaction of Vishnu, then you will not get any karma bandhana. There will be no bondage of karma. Tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. And then you will not be bound by anything, and then you will be completely free. Mukta sangha is a very important word in this. So basically Krishna is telling Arjuna immediately that perform a Nishkama Karma Yoga. Now further discussions, Arjuna is still not going to understand what is Nishkama Karma Yoga. And again in 4th chapter, he's again going to focus. Yes, you explained me about Karma Yoga, but I still feel that sannyas is important. Or Jnana Yoga is important. That's what Krishna is saying. So let's see verse number 10 to verse number 16. From Karma Kand to Karma Yoga. Krishna is talking in this particular section from Karma Kand to Karma Yoga. Verse number 10. Sahayajna pradnya srushta purovacha prajapati anena prasava vishwadvam Esho vastu ishakamadhuk. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with the sacrifice for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, Be thou happy by this yajna, sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. So, in the 9th verse, Krishna is saying that perform that action for the pleasure of Vishnu. So, perform a sacrifice for the pleasure of Vishnu. Yajnartho karmanna anyatra, he is saying. That perform yajna. So, whenever yajna, please always mark this in your brain that yajna refers to Vishnu. Like, wherever yajna is performed for any cause, any samskara the yajna is performed, the beginning, middle and the end is Vishnu. They begin with Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayana Namah by chanting the 24 names of Lord Vishnu. In middle also there is Vishnu Sahasranam, and then there is Sri Sukta, and then Vishnu Sukta and all that. And at the end, Sri Krishna Arpanam, Vishnu Arpanam. So the final oblation is performed for the pleasure of Vishnu. So even if in between you see that particular yajna is performed for Indra, Chandra, other demigods, the yajna refers to Vishnu because it has to be offered. But then intention behind that yajna can be different. And that's what Krishna is focusing here, that if you want to live happily, I have given yajna. So Krishna is telling that, I created men, I created demigods. You perform this yajna. A man will perform a yajna for the pleasure of demigods. And that particular, yajna will be completed and you will get your desired results. You will achieve whatever. So this Krishna is basically talking about Karma Kanda here. The previous verse was not Karma Kanda, it was about Nishkama Karma Yoga. Now Krishna is telling about Karma Kanda here. You perform this yajna for the pleasure of demigods and then you will attain something. And then slowly Krishna is going to build up. And then again he is going to come to how this yajna has to be performed for the pleasure of Krishna. Then in the beginning, so these are the stages of a people according to their needs, according to their consciousness. Krishna has designed some system, some process. And then you follow this process, you will attain something better. So why is Krishna telling this? Because in the previous verse, Krishna is spoken about Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma is that perform whatever action you are performing is for the pleasure of Vishnu. But if suppose if somebody is not able to follow, so Arjuna is asking here, this is underline message that which is not seen. Arjuna has not spoken. But then Krishna understood the thought of Arjuna. If I am not able to perform that yajna for pleasure of Vishnu, or if I will not be, I'm not able to offer the results for Vishnu, then what? Then there is nothing, there is no other process. And that's why Krishna has told that this is another process which I have already given. That I created men, I created demigods, men will perform yajna for demigod. And when he is performing that for demigod, then demigod will give the desired results and then he will enjoy in this material world. That is called karma kand. Okay. So, in between what I told you is that Yajna refers to Vishnu. In fact, one of the name of Vishnu is Yajna. Okay. So, keep this in mind because Yajna is going to come multiple times. In 6th chapter also we are going to learn about Yajnas. And I think in 7th chapter also some verses speak about Yajna. So, there Yajna is referring clearly to Vishnu. So, that is an important thing. So, one can attain a happiness by Yajna. This is what told in verse number 10. This yajna is for demigods, what Krishna has told you. Krishna has clearly mentioned, in the beginning of the creation, the Lord of all creatures sent for the generations of men and demigods, along with the sacrifice for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, be thou be happy by this yajna. So in these two things we are understanding, they are performing yajna to demigod. Like you see in Govardhan Lila, all the Brajavasis were performing yajna for Indra. So that Indra is showering rain. But then whenever yajna, that's why I said that in the whole this process of yajna, in the middle, in the beginning and the end, Lord Vishnu is remembered, Lord Vishnu is offered oblations. So that's why any yajna cannot be completed without Vishnu. And that's why if you see this line, that he sent forth the whole process of yajna along with the sacrifice for Vishnu. But then men are offering oblations too, remembering demigods, men are performing yajna. That's why it is karma kand. Okay, you get it?
Better than inaction, karma kand करायला सांगतात असं ना.
Ha. So Krishna, that's what previous whatever 10 verses, whatever Krishna has given. See, Arjuna asked this question, what is important? Krishna gave the answer that Nishkama Karma is important. But if I am not able to follow Nishkama Karma Yoga, then what? Then at least perform this karma kand. Because you cannot stay without action. So whatever actions you are doing, you at least do it for demigods. They are the immediate, whatever messengers of God. And then it is not a direct way of eating. Like हम लोग बोलते हैं ना ऐसा खाने. So they are doing like this. They are going all throughout and trying to eat. So what demigods will do? Demigods will further offer it to Krishna, Vishnu. So that's what is that telling. How? Hmm.
Krishna is saying in the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures and forth generation of men and demigods. On the other hand, Bhagavatam it is saying even Brahma. Then he started creating the person. So how do we see this? Because Krishna is saying he sent forth generation of men and demigods.
Yeah, so everything, first of all, we understand that everything comes from Krishna. Second thing is that Bhagavatam only tells that, Brahmaji was told how to create. That Tene Brahmarudaya Adikave Muyanti Surya. That I gave the knowledge, Krishna gave the knowledge, the Supreme Absolute Truth gave knowledge to the Brahmaji about the further creation. And then whatever creation has happened, it has come through Brahma. It has not only come through Brahma, it has come through Shiva, Sadashiva glancing over Durga, and then the living entities are impregnated, and that's how all living entities were impregnated through Durga. And this whole thing was observed, managed by Brahma. So if you see the whole creation which has happened in this material world is through the process, but then behind the curtain, that is Lord, who is managing all of that. The Brahmaji is also a living entity, and the Sadashiva's glancing on Durga is also happening through, like, if you study this 5th canto, in that it is said that Lord Vishnu glanced on Sadashiva, and then that's how the Durga was impregnated. And then all the living entities came out of Durga because she's a mother, and that's why she's called as the Bhavana Sundari, or she's the mother of this material world. And that's how all the living entities came into the existence. And this whole thing was observed by Brahmaji. So
much sacrifices for Vishnu and bless them by saying. So it is clearly mentioned by saying, Vida Vapti by the Shakya.
Yeah, so this we understand that the mainly, especially for the men. So the Manushya species, the human species, there are 4 lakh species. In the 4 lakh human species, that comes from Brahmaji to all degraded Shudra or the Mlechas or Yavanas, whatever. All these 4 lakh species. So Krishna has described all this through Manvanta avatar. So there are different avatars of Krishna. That is, there is Guna avatar, there is Yuga avatar, there is Leela avatar. Similarly, there is Manvanta. So the Manu, Krishna came as Manu, and then he gave the message for all the mankind. The processes to be performed, actions to whatever, yajnas to be performed. The whole thing is there. There is Manu Samhita, which talks about all these things. So through this Manvanta avatar, Krishna has given all this knowledge for the human beings. In that, men are also there, demigods are also there, from Brahmaji to all lower planets. Every human, every man is also there, or every human is there, and then all the knowledge is given to him through that. So that's what we understand through this line.
But in this chapter, only next we will study that whosoever not offers that results or the sacrifice which is done for that particular demigod. How do we see that? I mean, if that sacrifice is not offered, we are doing the sacrifice for demigods. The demigods, do they offer that sacrifice somewhere else to Vishnu? Or do they keep it to themselves?
So demigods are also Vaishnavas, they know that what is the procedure. They offer it to Lord, and that's why I said it's not a direct way of, you're not going directly to Vishnu.
On behalf of us or human beings who was
Very simple thing. You are performing that action with what intention is very important. Your intention is to enjoy in this material world, so it is karma kand. Your intention is to connect to God, it is yoga. Okay. Purport, can somebody read? Where's Siddhant? Where's Siddhant? Siddhant? Just try, call him. Forgot it.
Hari. The material creation by the Lord of creatures, Vishnu, is a chance offered to the conditioned souls to become home, to come back home, back to Godhead. All living entities within the material creation are conditioned by material nature because of their forgetfulness of their relationship to Vishnu or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Vedic principles are to help us understand this eternal relation, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedascha sever aham eva vedya. The Lord says that the purpose of the Vedas is to understand Him. In the Vedic hymns, it is said, Patim Vishwasam, therefore, the Lord of the living entities is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, 2.4.20, Sri Shukdev Goswami describes the Lord as Pati in so many ways. The Prajapati is Lord Vishnu, and He is Lord of all living creatures, all words, and all beauties, and the protector of everyone. The Lord created this material world to enable the conditioned souls to learn how to perform yagyas, sacrifices, for the satisfaction of Vishnu, so that while in the material world they can live very comfortably without anxiety, and after finishing the present material body, they can enter into the kingdom of God. That is the whole program for the conditioned souls. By performance of yajna, the conditioned souls gradually become Krishna conscious and become godly in all respect. In the age of Kali, the Sankirtan Yajna, the chanting of the names of God, is recommended by the Vedic scripture. And this transcendental system was introduced by Lord Chaitanya for the deliverance of all men in this age. Sankirtan Yajna or Krishna consciousness can go well together. Lord Krishna, in his devotional form as Lord Chaitanya, is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.532 as follows, with special reference on the Sankirtan Yajna. In this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associates by performance of Sankirtan Yajna. Other yajnas prescribed in the Vedic literature are not easy to perform in this age of Kali, but the Sankirtan Yajna is easy and sublime for all purposes, as recommended in Bhagavad Gita 9.14.
का बसायचं नव्हतं? Don't. Prabhupada has put a lot of hard work. Okay? So we cannot just escape. Ideally, we don't have so much time, but ideally, we should even read word to word meaning also. It's not so easy to translate Sanskrit such a way, or put some many verses and references from this is all the scriptures. So don't reduce the value of Prabhupada. I'm saying something important. So here in this verse, Yajna is introduced. So Yajna is sacrifice to Vishnu. That is a very clear message. But here this Yajna is about Karma Kanda, offering oblations to demigods for the pleasure of demigods so that we get the material benefits and we remain happy in this world. In the next verse, Krishna is saying that when the oblations are offered to demigods, demigods will reward you something. And then in that reward you can remain happy. So this is a cooperation between men and demigod. That is what is explained in verse number 11. So Prabhupada is very clearly telling that Yajna means for the pleasure of Vishnu, and the Yajna for this age of Kali, Sankirtana Yajna, and everybody should participate into this Sankirtana Yajna. Verse number 11. Yes. Like there is one XYZ. He was an old famous spiritualist, and then he had a prarthana. He used to ask people to recite one prarthana. हे ईश्वरा सर्वांना चांगली बुद्धी दे, सर्वांना सुखात आनंदात ऐश्वर्यात ठेव, सर्वांचं भलं कर आणि तुझं गोड नाव सर्वांच्या मुखात अखंड राहू दे. ऐकलंय कधी? I am not asking for name. So we used to laugh at this particular phrase, saying that hey Ishvara sarvana sukhat anandat aishwarya thev. So if you want to continue staying in this material world, you can always perform yajna, and then when the yajna is performed, you will get nice rewards for the yajna, and then you will remain happy in this material world and continue in this material world. But that happiness is for how long, and the results what you are going to attain, and every action is going to have reaction. So that whole calculation, whole chakra is going to continuously happen. Okay. See, it is very karma kand means it is performed for your sense gratification, for desiring something. Not. Yeah, there are people who chant the holy name for attaining money. There are people who chant holy name for recovering their body. There are people who chant holy name for but multiple benefits. So yeah. Huh? See, depends on for what reason you are doing. What is your intention? What is the intention of a yajman is very important. So if the intention of a yajman is to enjoy, then it is going to be karma kand. If the intention of a yajman is to protect devotional service while performing a Narsimha yajna, then it is a yajna for Vishnu. No, results are going to be different. Results are completely going to be different. Yes. Yes. But then for personal benefit, if you are going to Krishna, at least that is the advanced stage. At least better that you are going to Krishna. But here there is no discussion about Krishna. Here discussion is about you are trying to please demigods, and demigods are like ministers who can award you something, and then with that you can be happy. So you can be happy in this material world till the time you are going to have the fruits of that results with you. As soon as, because whatever it has some number of time, it has some time period, it has some quantity, and it is going to get over. And then that happiness for that particular thing is going to get over. And with that happiness, some other XYZ attachments are going to come, which will give you nice, very soothing. Exactly, and that's why attaining Krishna is not so easy. And this is not only, Prabhupada is not talking something of his own. These are written in scriptures. Vedas are talking about it. See, we have studied before also. Vedas are nothing but the flowery words. So what are these flowery words? These are the flowery words. Yes, if you perform a yajna, you are going to be happy in this world. Enjoy. So person is going to stay here only. thinking that I'll enjoy, and he'll perform some yajna, and with that attachments are going to come. With that, whatever is going to come is not mentioned in these flowery words. Like you hold a rose, there are thorns. Nobody is explaining about the thorns. They are talking about the beauty of that rose, and then you are getting attracted towards the beauty of that rose, and you are going to get trapped into that net. And with that, you are going to get a lot of thorns here and there also.
Prabhupada is writing in the book of this thing also, to this material body, they can enter into the kingdom of God. So yajna can be performed for the pleasure of Vishnu as well.
Yeah, ultimately, yajna has to be.
Considering this, that only for karma kand we are getting.
See, this particular verse is talking about demigods, and that's why I gave this disclaimer in the beginning only. Yajna refers to Vishnu. So, yajna eventually has to be performed for Vishnu only. And this particular yajna, sacrifice, also refers to action, that is karma. So, like you hear this Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. In this Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam it is said. So, what is it? Your Yajna and Tapasas are mentioned there. So, here this word Yajna is about your actions also, because you are performing some action which is going to bring some results. So, who is the Bhokta of that result? Is Vishnu. That's what it is. The words Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. In this yajna means performing this yajna. मतलब ना हाथ में वो अच्छा spoon ले लो, घी डालो. That is one yajna. Apart from that, whatever activities you are doing, you are walking, you are talking, you are working, you are student, or you are going and offering obeisances, ringing bell. All these actions are happening, and all those actions are going to bring results. So those results are not yours. You are not the doer. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga, right? And you offer that results to Krishna. So you are performing action that is also called as a sacrifice or yajna. So many times whenever we remember yajna, मतलब हम लोग क्या ना पत्रे का यज्ञ कुंड दिखता है. No, yajna means many things. Yajna means like Harinam Sankirtan Yajna. When you say Harinam Sankirtan Yajna, where is the yajna kund? There is no yajna kund. But then that is a performance of that action of chanting the holy name of Lord. Similarly, whatever action, you are a student, your study is a yajna. Kyun? Because Krishna is telling. Where is telling? Perform your prescribed duties. So when you are performing your prescribed duties, it is working, it is students. But that is also an action which is going to bring result. Your studies are going to bring result that you are going to score 100 out of 100. And then that result you say that it's not mine, it's because of Krishna. I offer it to Krishna. This result belongs to Krishna. So every Bhoktaram Yajnatabasam, like you are working, you are getting money, you are saying this money does not belong to me. This is Krishna's, and now you offer everything to Krishna. That means you are completely offering everything to Krishna. Action is what? Action is of working. Action is of studying. Action is of whatever different things. So yajna is not necessary performance of that yajna kunda and offering oblations. Yajna means or your actions also which are going to bring results, reaction. Okay. सगळ्या ॲक्शन म्हणजे यस ॲक्शन म्हटलं कर्म. कर्म word is action. Karma also, there are different meanings of word karma. Karma means the very prime meaning of karma is action. That you always store in your mind. Second meaning of a karma is reaction. हम लोग बोलते हैं कर्म का फल है, तो नो कर्म previous karma. So that karma is also reaction. So karma is kriya, karma is reaction. Both the things come in karma. So this yajna is your karma which is going to bring result. Okay? Is that clear? Okay. Next verse number 11. देवान् भावयतानेन ते देवा भावयन्तु वा परस्परं भावयन्तः श्रेयः परमावस्तस्थ श्रेयः परम avapasthita. The demigods being pleased by sacrifice will also please you, and thus by cooperation between the man and demigod, prosperity will reign all for all. जब तक कीर्तन बंद नहीं होता तब तक दरवाजा मत खोला. Don't move out.
Also?
The demigods being pleased by sacrifice will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. So, in the this is Karmakand. This is clearly Karmakand. He found it, Eureka. So, there is a story which comes in Bhagavatam. All of you know there was King Vena, which is Bhagavad. And then King Vena was a demonic person. He was doing he used to cheat people, kill Brahmanas, do all nonsense things. And that's how the Brahmanas got really irritated with him. They were frustrated. And then Brahmana chanted a few mantras and they killed Vena. And then Vena was dead. And then what happened after that when the Vena died? No. Before that, what happened before that is that as soon as they found that Vena is dead, so Brahmanas were satisfied, all good people were satisfied, and at the same time, all thieves and rogues and everybody was very happy. Yes, now we have opportunity because when king is there, all thieves and rogues, they are in the corner hiding because they know that they'll get the punishment. But as soon as king died, they came out, and then whole kingdom was looted and everything was plundered. Everybody was really in mess. Everything was in mess. So Brahmanas realized, oh, we have done a mistake, and we need a king. And then they churned the thighs of Vena, and from his body Prithu Maharaj was born. And then Prithu Maharaj came, and then Prithu Maharaj performed a very good action. It is an important duty of a leader. It is an important duty of a king to perform all dharmic activities so that all the kinsmen will get the right things. We are going to see that particular thing in verse number 14 also. Annat bhavati bhuta parjanno parjanat anna sambhava. So what happened that time, that in whole this episode, Mother Earth was very much sad. She was not happy because of King Vena also, and then these thieves and rogues. And that's why Mother Earth was not providing whatever was necessary. So what all things Earth provides? Food, water, and what else? There is gold, there is diamonds, and then there is the coal, and there is basically fuel. So many things comes from minerals, so many things comes from Mother Earth. But then that time Mother Earth was not providing anything. And Prithu Maharaj was born, Prithu Maharaj was performing all good sacrifice, but still she was not responding. And that's why Prithu Maharaj gets angry on Mother Earth. And then he was about to destroy the earth. And then Brahmaji comes in between and then pacifies Prithu Maharaj. And then Prithu Maharaj again performs a yajna. And after performing that particular yajna, the Mother Earth blesses the whole kingdom of Prithu Maharaj with whatever is required in abundance. And that's how everybody becomes again happy. And so two things we understand. Here, Prithu Maharaj, we need a king we need a leader who performs yajna. That is very important. And after performance of yajna, the demigods, they give things in return. So here the Mother Earth gave whatever was necessary to Prithu Maharaj after performance of yajna. So that's why performance of yajna is very important. And we see the cooperation between the men and demigods. That's what we see through this verse. In the purport, demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs. The supply of air, light, water, all the benedictions of maintaining the body and soul of every living entity is entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of a Supreme Person of Godhead. Their pleasures and displeasures are dependent on the performance of yajna by the human beings. Some of the yajnas are meant to satisfy a particular human being. Some of the yajnas are meant to satisfy particular demigods. But even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yajnas as a chief beneficiary. Okay? It is stated also in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is the beneficiary of all kinds of yajna. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. Therefore, ultimate satisfaction of yajnapati is the chief purpose of all yajnas. So, in the previous purport, Prabhupada is writing this particular verse: Shripati, Yajnapati, Prajapati, Dhiyampati, Lokapati, Dharapati, Patir Gatish, Chanda ko Vrushni Satvatam, Prasidatam me Bhagavan Satvatam Pati. So, here he is telling that Krishna is the Pati of all. So, kon Shripati, Pati of Lakshmi Mata, Yajnapati, he is Yajnapati, he is the Adhipati is the, the beneficiary of yajna. And then Prajapati, also, Satvatam Pati, he is the Pati of all the Santa, all the sadhus. So he is the protector and a beneficiary of everyone. So similarly here also we understand that Krishna is Yajnapati, the ultimate satisfaction of Yajnapati, the chief purpose of all yajnas. Therefore, the ultimate satisfaction of Yajnapati is the chief purpose of all yajnas. When these yajnas are perfectly performed, naturally the demigods in charge of different department of supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity in the supply of natural products. So we heard that through the story of Prithu Maharaj. By performance, next page, by performance of yajna, one's eatables become sanctified. By eating sanctified foodstuffs, one's very existence becomes purified. By the purification of existence, fine tissues in the memory become sanctified. And when memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. And all this combined together leads to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of a present day society. So, with the help of this yajna, person will become Krishna conscious. And the Prabhupada is talking about the sequence, how you become Krishna conscious. Very scientific way of presenting. Ahara shuddhi sattvam, ahara shuddhim sattva shuddham, sattva shuddhim dhruva smriti, smriti labdhe sarva granthim vipramoksha. Purport, in the purport this verse shloka is there. Like Prabhupada said, na, by the performance of yajna, eatables are satisfied. So by performance of yajna is ahara shuddhi. What happens is sattva shuddhi, eating sanctified foodstuffs, one's existence becomes sanctified. And then sattva shuddhim, dhruva smriti, and then by that you are going to get a fine memory. And then smriti labdhe sarva granthitam vipramokshe, and when the memory is sanctified, one think of the path of liberation. And all this combined together is called as a Krishna consciousness. And that's why Krishna is going to talk about how we should take only Krishna Prasad in coming verses. Verse number 12. Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yajna bhavita तैर्यदानम अपराधो दैर्यदानम अप्रदायेभ्यो यो भुंक्ते स्तेन एव स. In charge of various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, will supply all necessities to you. But he who enjoys such a gift without offering them to the demigods in returns is clearly a thief. So you perform yajna, you are going to get result. When the results are coming, offering back is very important. You go to any temple, there is hundi, denagi is written, right? So what does that mean? Dena hai udhar. You have to go and offer. It's very important. But if you are keeping it to yourself, you are called as thief. One day, Prabhupada was walking on a Juhu beach, and there was one Gujarati person, businessman. What is his name? I forgot his name. He used to regularly argue with Prabhupada, debate with Prabhupada. So he used to, one day he was walking with Prabhupada and not Shah, not Mr. Shah. No. So he was arguing with Prabhupada, and every time he used to argue on different topics. Every day he used to come with Prabhupada and walk. So he was a strong man. He was also old man. So one day Prabhupada asked him, what is your business? So they were discussing about how we should consider that he was talking basically that how we are God. I am also God. I'm Bhagwan. And then Krishna Prabhupada said, you are not Bhagwan. So he said, no, I'm the enjoyer, I'm the protector, I'm the whatever XYZ thing he was talking. And Prabhupada said him that what is your business? He said, I have a glass business. So you have a glass business. From where the glass comes? He said, glass comes from sand, Swamiji. So glass comes from sand. Where is the sand coming from? Sand comes from ocean. Prabhupada said, where is the ocean coming from? So he understood what Prabhupada wants to say. Yeah, I know you are telling that everything सारी भूमि गोपाल की आप कहना चाहते हो तो ये भगवान से आता है. So he said, Prabhupada said, you are a thief. तुम चोर हो. तुम जो है वो भगवान से ग्लास लेते हो और उससे सैंड लेते हो, उससे ग्लास बनाते हो, ये सब भगवान का है और वापस भगवान को अर्पण नहीं करते हो, तुम चोर हो। प्रभुपाद एकदम क्लियर है, स्वामी जी मुझे चोर क्यों बोल रहे हो? इट्स इंटरेस्टिंग कन्वर्सेशन। नहीं, तुम चोर हो। सो दिस इज व्हाट प्रभुपाद इज ट्राइंग टू टेल हियर। In this verse also Krishna is telling that if you are getting offering oblations and in return whatever results you are going to get, if you are not offering it to Krishna, you are not offering to that demigod, because we are discussing on karma kand. If you are not offering that particular thing to demigod, you are thief, you are chor. So whenever yajna is performed, the last ahuti, purna ahuti, is performed with this intention that I offer the results to you. So in this particular context, in the karma kand, offering to that particular demigod. In our understanding, offering all those results to Krishna, Vishnu. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga, offering all the results to Vishnu. So that is very, very important. If you are holding those results and keeping it to yourself, you are thief, chor. So it is said, but he who enjoys such a gift without offering them to the demigod in return is certainly a thief, is a completely chore. So, when the yajna is performed, a yajman should, yajman has a duty, because yajman is sitting there with the intentions to attain something through that yajna. Don't eat. Yeah. So he's performing that particular yajna to attain something. So in return, he has to feed cows, give charity to the brahmanas, and mainly a person who is performing that yajna, the brahmana who is performing that yajna, should be fully satisfied. That is very important. Otherwise, that yajna is not complete. I'm just telling you, this is not out of context, but then this is something very important. Like, you call somebody for performing yajna at your place, and then you forget to give donation to that person. Your yajna is not performed. Yajna is not done only. That yajna is not considered yajna. After spending so much money, making big arrangements, decorating the home, calling all relatives, doing all these things, if the brahmana who is performing yajna is not satisfied, your yajna is not complete. And that's mandatory. So if this brahmana who is performing yajna, if he has to be offered the return gift or whatever donations, if that is not performed, what to think about offering to the person for whom you are doing the yajna? That is very important, and that's why whenever yajna is performed, so that's why always keep this in mind. That's why karma yoga is very complicated. Karma concept itself is very complicated. Karma, vikarma, akarma, karma, vita karma, so many karmas. So itself is very complicated. But then karma, very simple to understand. Karma, that means every action, whatever you are performing, is going to bring the results. Offer those results to Krishna. And don't perform vikarma. हम लोग बोलेंगे हम लोग विकर्म करेंगे, वो कुछ भी बुरा रिजल्ट आए, ये सब कृष्ण का है. No, you have to pay for it. Because Krishna has clearly mentioned no performance of vikarma. Forbidden activities are not to be performed. Okay? Clear? Satisfaction of Brahmana is very important. So Brahmanas, huh? At our, see, if you are not earning anything, if you are just student, then you offer the results. Say, that Bhagwan, ये मेरा कुछ नहीं है, आपका ही है. It's very tough. हाँ? It's very tough. मैंने मेहनत किया, पूरा साल भर पढ़ाई मैंने किया और मैं वो रिजल्ट्स कृष्ण को दूं क्यों? No, not like that. Everything comes from Krishna. Whenever that's why we are always, in any religion you go, you take. Every religion, donation is a very clear funda that you should offer. So they have understanding, by giving charity, you get benefited by, अन्नदान होता है, वस्त्रदान हो सकता है, या shelter दे सकते हैं. So many things people have. Different kinds of charity, because they know that after doing that particular charity, you are going to get good results for that, and that's why the charity concept is always focused on. But then our understanding is very clear that you must offer oblations to that particular god, demigods, so that he is satisfied and he is blessing you, and that's how the cooperation is happening. Main लेन देन है ना ये पूरा, तो ये लेन देन जो है cooperation है. Okay? Why your faces are like, few faces are very unclear? Please reveal. I hope everybody is clear. Sham, clear? What was there to laugh? बोला.
सर कर्मकांड में
बेसिकली मग डेमिगॉडचं बेनिफिट काय आहे?
Hmm? When you are, see, one thing is that if you are just thinking on the point of karma kanda, like Indra, when the oblations were offered to Indra, like you saw in Mahanarsimha, Mahavatar Narsimha, the yajnas are performed. Yes, Rohit. Huh? There you know, see those demigods coming and drinking oblations. Yeah, so they get benefited. But then what action they perform in between is that they offer Bhagwan hai aapka hai. And Krishna does not need, utha ke peene ka. Krishna can eat through his eyes, he can eat through his ears, he can do it, and he's happy with that particular way of sacrificing. So that particular process which is happening, that demigods are not enjoying to themselves. They are offering oblations to Krishna. In return, Krishna is giving them enjoy, bless. As हम लोग भोगा offer करते. If Krishna starts taking all the bhoga, then nothing comes in return. Will you offer it to Krishna? No, Krishna knows what is required for him. So Krishna glances. Angani, yes, what is it? Brahma Samhita verse? हाँ नहीं, no, ऐसा नहीं है. That is not the.
आधी कोणती श्लोक आहे बघ, आहे ना भगवान वेश कुठले पण अंग कुठले पण
हाँ हाँ, that's what. अंगानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रिय वृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति क्लान्ति चिरं जगन्ति. So this particular shloka says that Krishna can perform any action through any senses. So basically they are not enjoying themselves, they offer it to Krishna, and in return they get their rewards. So it's not that वो लोग भूखे रह जाते, they are like nothing they are having. First of all, Krishna is rewarding them with the particular duties, and they are going to get the benefits of that particular duty. When the oblations are offered, they are going to get results. They are going to get their quota, or they are going to get, Krishna is going to give them in return. So all those things are going to happen. So it's not that they are कुछ नहीं उनके पास, ऐसा नहीं है. Okay. So don't worry. Even if you have a desire to become demigod, you will get a lot. Okay, let's go. This purport is very important. So, in the Vedas, the third line of the purport, in the Vedas there are different kinds of yajnas prescribed for different kinds of demigods, but all are ultimately offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the Supreme Personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to demigod is recommended. So one does not have a conscious, one does not have a good that much of chetana by which he can understand who is Supreme Godhead. So you perform demigod worship, or you perform this particular yajna for demigod is mentioned. According, there are some kind of people who cannot even understand who is demigod. So they are given, something else to perform. They are told that you perform Prithvi, you perform trees, you perform ocean. Yeah, there are people who are Adivasis. They don't understand what demigod is. So they keep on worshipping, animals and, the trees and water bodies and everything. So there is conscious, like, you must have heard this in your initial, if at all you have heard, initial time of your Krishna consciousness. How the Christianity came, because those people they were having very low consciousness, and that's why they were not understanding the Vedic scriptures, and that's why whatever they could understand, that was given. The compassion and truthfulness, all these qualities were explained to them, and then they were told, okay, fine, you can eat meat, and you can leave. So, and then there is another religion that is Muslim religion. So they said that their consciousness was also not very elevated. That's why this whatever commandments and whatever rules and regulations were given, so that they can follow at least this and elevate. Okay. So I am saying that this is how their consciousness will elevate. So there are people who have degraded consciousness and they can understand that much only. So Krishna has created a facility that, okay, you understand this much only, so you follow this particular thing. Then after following that particular thing, you will elevate, your consciousness will elevate. So there are people, now here Krishna is talking, Prabhupada is clearly mentioning those who cannot understand Krishna, they should at least worship demigods. Okay, and those who do not understand demigods, there is another process also. हमें जानना जरूर है. Worship of nature, प्रकृति की पूजा. Vishwamitra will read and explain us the next purport. We will give you 500 rupees. Yes.
Demigods are authorized supplying agents via
अरे बंद आहे हां चालू झालं. The demigods are authorized supplying agents on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Therefore, they must be satisfied by the performance of prescribed yajnas. In the Vedas, there are different kinds of yajnas prescribed for different kinds of demigods, but all are ultimately offered to Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to the demigods is recommended. According to the different material qualities of the persons concerned, different types of yajnas are recommended in the Vedas. Worship of different demigods is also on the same basis, namely according to different qualities. For example, the meat eaters are recommended to worship the goddess Kali, the ghastly form of the material nature, and before the goddess the sacrifice of animals is recommended. But for those who are in the mode of goodness, the transcendental worship of Vishnu is recommended. But ultimately all yajnas are meant for gradual promotion to the transcendental position. For ordinary men, at least 5 yajnas known as Pancha Mahayajnas are necessary. आता येतं अजून
Explain. What is Panchamahayagya? विचारतोस.
पंचतत्वांचे म्हणजे नाही नाही पंचमहाभूतांचे यज्ञ असं म्हणतात का?
I never heard this yagya.
पंचयज्ञ काय? संकीर्तन यज्ञ.
Good. Good.
चॅट जीपीटी.
Okay. So, are you going to explain the other part of the purport?
नाही प्रभुपादांनी हे सांगितले की ते कालीची पण पूजा करतात काही जण आणि त्यास आधी तिला ते ऑफर केलं जातं, मीठ ऑफर केलं जातं आणि काही जण जे सत्वगुणामध्ये आहेत.
This is English Bhakti Shastri class.
नाही मग
So please don't talk in between.
Roji, if means here as it is mentioned, meat eaters are recommended to worship goddess Kali. So means as you were saying that according to the nature of that person, something is given to them to do at least something. But then if someone is eating meat and doing all those activities, then it is very hard to rise above that platform. Then how means are we relating or how do we understand this, that doing that thing at that consciousness, they'll eventually come
So
out
here
of it.
there is no question of elevation. At least perform this particular action which is recommended in yajna, in karma kand. Another thing, when they are performing this particular karma, like if they are performing, they want to eat meat. What is the procedure told? You are in ignorance, then you perform a yajna. That you perform yajna to Kali. When that yajna is performed, like this word mamsa is that mamsa, that I'm killing you this time, you kill me next time. So there are mantras to be chanted while performing that yajna, which says that yes, I am killing you now. In next life, you kill me. So they are going to get follow this chakra of killing each other continuously, and somewhere there will be some hetuki krupa they'll elevate. So here basically this is not spoken about elevation or something like. Here it is spoken about performing that particular action, performing that particular yajna. If you want to eat meat, then you perform a yajna and then eat. That's very important. That's what Vedas are talking about. And then that person, if he wants to stay in ignorance forever, then continues to do that activity. If he wants to elevate, then he'll perform the action of passion and goodness. This is a very interesting question. People say that Kali, when you offer a meat to Kali, will she eat meat? Kali is Durga. Durga is, Narayani. She's called as a Narayani, who is a devotee of Lord Narayana. Vishnu, right? Durga is devotee of Lord Vishnu. Any doubt? So devotee of Vishnu does not eat meat, right? So will she eat meat? But then they offer it, na? Hmm. Yeah. So animal sacrifice, when it is performed, that yajna is performed, especially Ashwamedha yajna, what you are talking about. What they used to do, that that Ashwa used to go travel all over around and all these things, and he used to be called as the Ashwa, which is unconquerable. And in that yajna, they used to cut the head of that Ashwa. And when the yajna, the head used to fall into that yajna kunda, immediately he used to get the divine body. And then that is elevated. He's completely, he used to get moksha. If that is attained, then that yajna is important. That yajna is completed. And that's why these yajnas are not so easy. When it is said that if you want to eat meat, then perform a yajna, it's not so easy. So that oblation is very important. Next thing, my question was that when the Kali is offered something, will she eat? No, she does not drink a blood. Though it is showed that she is like Bhadra Kali is with blood and all the skulls around her. She is not drinking blood. She is not eating that flesh which is offered. The intention and action is seen there. Like he asked this question, Prabhuji, demigods अगर खुद खा लेंगे तो भगवान को ऑफर नहीं करेंगे. और if they are offering everything to God, then they will not get anything. So the action and intentions are seen on the subtle level. So the Mother Durga does not eat. The action of offering that particular thing is seen and accepted by Mother Durga. And the intention behind that action and action is seen, and that's accordingly the rewards are given. And that's why हमें क्या करना है, हमारे पास gross है. What they have is a gross thing. So that gross thing is offered. So when you are offering, like हम लोग भोगा चढ़ाते हैं. So our intention is that Krishna, this is Anna, please purify this, everything belongs to you. I am offering whatever comes from you, and I don't want to be an independent enjoyer. That is the understanding when you are offering bhoga to Krishna. And then in return we get prasad of Krishna. So the intention behind that action is what? First of all, you are collecting, making a bhoga, decorating a plate, or putting a bhoga plate, ringing bell, chanting the prayers. This action is performed. This action is purifying you. Second thing, your intention behind that action. The intention behind action can be, oh, jaldi jaldi खा लो, मुझे पिज्जा खाने को मिल जाएगा. The intention behind action can be, you are cooking for your own sacrifice, but at least कभी तो सुना है कि sacrifice करना चाहिए. Then you are offering it to God. Or your intention can be very pure, that everything belongs to you, and I am offering, जैसे गंगा का पानी गंगा को अर्पण करने जैसा, I am offering some part of it to you. Please accept it. So that there can be different intentions. So those intentions and action, both the things are seen, and accordingly you get the reward. So what they accept, or what something is offered to Kali, what she will accept is your intention and your action, and accordingly you will get the reward for that particular thing. Huh? No, it's not Kali's. See again, don't see something which is subtle on the gross platform. You are trying to connect gross and subtle together. They are two different things. What I'm trying to tell is her intention. So they have offered it. She has not eaten aisa nikal ke. She has not eaten that particular thing. But then what? कौन? Yeah. So if you have this question whether Mother Durga Kali will eat it, no, she will not. It is very clear. She is not the blood drunkard, whatever drinker. Okay. Yes.
Similarly, in Ujjain, I think, for Mahakal, they offered alcohol.
Hmm. No. Shiva never drinks alcohol. This is in Mahashivratri. There is one Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj's lecture on Mahashivratri. In that, there are people who offer hookah to Shiva, alcohol to Shiva, and bhang to Shiva, all of that. And then they say that, Shiva drinks it. But then he says that Shiva is a Lord who is who is in pure goodness, but he resides himself in an area where it's all ignorance. Why is he staying there in that area? Because he doesn't want any disturbance. He wants a samadhi, complete focus on Lord. If he is staying in an area where the goodness, the demigods will come, offer obeisances, offer lamba prayers, and then there's so many dhol tasha, so many things, musical instruments, so many demands, all those things. So he wants to stay aloof from that because he's Avduta. He's completely, he wants to be completely detached, and his focus is only Ram, Ram, Ram. He doesn't want to, and that's why he chose that particular area to stay, where people are, ignorant, hardly aware about what is happening. The ghost, hobgoblins, everybody is around, and that's why he chose that ignorant place. Like we also hear about Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj used to go and sit in the place where people go and pass stool, so that nobody will come there. If it is a dirty area, garbage area, nobody will come to disturb him there, so that he continue perform. So Vaishnavara Kriya Medra Vigena Bhujai. So we cannot understand the action and kriya of the. So similarly, seeing all these things, seeing his area, people thought, oh, he must be drinking alcohol. He must be smoking, or he must be, so let's offer hookah to him. Let's offer alcohol to him. So this is a concoction people have, and that concoction is for what? For personal sense gratification. There is this, Ujjain only, not to Mahakal. They offer it to Bhairav, Kala Bhairav. Mahakal is not offered alcohol. Mahakal worship is completely different. Kala Bhairava deity of Shiva is offered. There are all nice sweet homes, sweet shops, that is alcohol shops around. And then there is Shakti also. That's Shakti Pit is also there. So that to the Devi also they offer that particular thing, which is wrong. Shiva is a very pure Vaishnava. Is Vaishnava. शिवा अवतार में एक्सपांशन है ठीक यस 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 ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है. So, personal sense gratification plus some things are mentioned in Vedas. Nowadays, whatever kind of sacrifice are performed, bokad kapne, bakra kapne, whatever these things are going on, is all concoction. It's all coming out of their own understanding. They are not following the procedure, and that's why what they are earning is just sin. So whatever sacrifice they are performing now with the intention ki Devi ke liye kar rahe and all these things, they are not following the procedure. And they are just collecting sin. Okay? And that's why these Vedic flowery words appears to be very much pleasing to us. Person may think that I am going to get something in return. I'll be very happy. But then he is going to be miserable because they are not following the procedure properly. Okay? So they are carrying water bottle and this and that. Is all concoction. Okay. The last few lines of the purport. This aim of life is attained by performance of yajna. If we forget the purpose of human life, simply take supplies from agents of the Lord for sense gratification and become more and more entangled in the material existence, which is not the purpose of creation. Certainly we become thieves, and therefore we are punished by the laws of material nature. Where are we? I hope everybody got it. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aims in life, no aim in life. The gross materialist thieves have no ultimate goal of life. They are simply directed to sense gratification, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform yajna. Lord Chaitanya, however, inaugurated the easiest performance of yajna, namely Sankirtana Yajna, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accept the principles of Krishna consciousness. So, after this, verse number 13 talks about eating food offered in sacrifice. Yajna shishta shina santo मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषये भुञ्जते तु अघं पापं भुञ्जते तु अघं पाप ये पचन्त्यात् कारणात्. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sin because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Other who perform food, other who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, verily eat only sin. तो अगर किसी को अगर ये प्रश्न होगा कि कृष्ण का प्रसाद ही क्यों खाना चाहिए, कहाँ पर लिखा है शास्त्र में कि भगवान को भोग लगा के भोग चढ़ा के खाना चाहिए, तो ये वर्ष है. ठीक है, प्लीज नोट डाउन. यज्ञ शिष्टान शिना संतो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल विषय भुंजते ते अघम पाप ये पचन्त्यत आत्म कारणात्. So demigods of the Lord, the devotees of the Lord, I think here everybody is a devotee of Lord. कोई है? Practicing devotees must do this thing so that they become a devotee of the Lord. They are released from all kinds of sin. So how many of you want to be released from all kinds of sin? Prabhuji, we are already relieved. So if you really want to relieve ourselves from the all kinds of sin, the food which is offered first for the sacrifice, they eat only food which is offered for the sacrifice. Others who prepare food for a personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. So if the thing is not offered to Krishna, we are just eating sin. Pap. You know, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, this particular line is very famous in Hindi, what he said. It's very touching. He said, somebody asked a question, महाराज अगर हम लोग भगवान को भोग लगा के नहीं खाएंगे तो क्या खाएंगे, क्या होगा? महाराज बोलते हैं, आप जो है वो पाप खा रहे हो, पाप. तो if you are not eating Krishna Prasad, that means food which is offered to Krishna, if you are not eating that, then we are just eating sin. तो हम जो है वो सिर्फ पाप खा रहे हैं. तो इसलिए that's why it is very very important to offer each and everything to Krishna before eating. That's very very important. How many of you do that? Only eat Krishna Prasad? Yeah, our Rishi Vishwamitra Prabhu does, I know. Okay, and that does not mean that, that there's this Bollywood pictures they show, they remove something and then put somewhere. Or, our ISKCON style, it is told, Prabhuji, if I go to a place where there is no food available and I have to go to a restaurant, what shall I do? And then they are taught that, you go and sit and then you say, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, and then you purify and then you say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So my dear friends, just for your knowledge, this is concoction, in ISKCON concoction. So concoctions are everywhere, so let's not do it. Second thing, you will not get any single place in this planet where there is no Krishna Prasad. I challenge you. Wherever you go, whichever part of the world you go, you will surely get Krishna Prasad. Voice मध्ये राहून Krishna Prasad नाही. So very simple है ना प्रभु. The reason also you know very well. Why do you want to open the reason? So wherever you go. So there is a nice story which comes of a book distributor. A book distributor went to Amazon forest areas, to villages there, and he was distributing books. And he went on distributing and then he missed a way. He went inside in jungle. And he was not understanding where to go. He crossed that jungle and he found another village and he was badly hungry by that time. He was thirsty also and hungry also. And then he went and he knocked on the door. And he knocked on the door thinking that he'll get some fruits. Karma ka phal. At least phal to mang lunga. So he went, somebody opened the door, was a Vaishnavi with a white, nice bright tilak and sari in that Amazon forest jungle ke villages mein. And she was an old lady, she was around 65, 70-year-old. And then she called him, please come, you are most welcome. You are distributing, you are doing such a wonderful service to Prabhupada. You are coming to this area and distributing books. Prabhupada is so happy. Do you want to eat something? He said, yes, I'm badly hungry. I said, wow, wonderful. Today only I offered chappan bhog to my Jagannath. Please come and have chappan bhog. So, like this, devotees have experience that yes, we will surely get Krishna Prasad. Otherwise, Krishna has given us brain, hands, legs, money, everything by which we can cook and offer food to Krishna and then eat. Otherwise, we should not, just for satisfaction of our tongue, we walk on the street and eat pani puri, bel puri, shev puri, or we go to Gangadham Chowk and then try to eat something and drink something, or we like what is that, Mohan Kulfi, Sujata Mastani, and then we devour and eat. So it's better that you offer it to Krishna and then eat. Some things which we cannot make, if we can make, that is good, that is best. Like cakes and pastries and ice cream, not everybody can make. But if you can make and offer it to Krishna is best. But see, any offering which is performed to Krishna, offered to Krishna, has to be cooked with love and devotion. Your cooks, your chefs, your thelawala, I hope does not cook with the love and devotion. So if you find somebody like that who is cooking with the love and devotion and offering to Krishna, you can. You can ask, everybody will get benefited. Okay, Hare Krishna. So here it is basically, we understand from this particular thing that yajna has to be performed for the pleasure of Vishnu. So Krishna is directly talking about yajna of karma of eating or karma of cooking. So whenever anna has to be accepted, this, in fact, this Kanthimala is announcement to the whole world that only Krishna Prasad will enter through this mouth, and only the glorification of Krishna will come out of this mouth. That's very important. So no nonsense will come out. If the nonsense is coming out of our mouth, it should pain. It should trouble you. It's very important. Purport. The devotees of the Supreme Lord or the persons who are in Krishna consciousness are called Santa, and they are always in love with the Lord, as it is described in Brahma Samhita 5.30. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santas sadaiva rudheshu vilokayanti yamashama sundaram achintya gunasvarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. The Santa, being always in the compact of love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, the giver of all pleasures, or Mukunda, the giver of liberation, or Krishna, the all-attractive person, cannot accept anything without first offering it to the Supreme Person. So how many of you want to be a devotee of Govinda, Mukunda, Krishna? So for that it's very, very important that we offer to Krishna and then only eat. I am not saying Bhagavad Gita is saying, I am not saying Prabhupada is saying this thing. Therefore, such a devotee always perform yajna in different modes of devotional service, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam. Actually, we are so much habituated from the beginning now. We don't at all feel that, wo cheez khana chahiye, jisko chalega bhog. Like, somebody was recently telling me, Prabhuji, Lonavala mein na vada pav milta hai. And that vada pav is, that person, he cooks vada pav, bhaji without onion garlic. हम लोग जाएंगे ना प्रोजी, उधर जाके थोड़ा खा, एक बार प्रोजी बिना ऑनियन गार्लिक का प्रोजी उधर बनता ही नहीं है, आता ही नहीं ऑनियन गार्लिक. But that and then he took me to that place. They got 50 vada pav. The vada pav was smelling wow, bhaji was smelling wow. But then that did not give any dripping of water from my mouth. Did not come. I did not feel any दुख नहीं हुआ मुझे किसी भी बात का, नहीं हुआ, because we are trained like that. Last 20 years following this particular thing, eating only Krishna Prasad, whatever happened. I'm not trying to glorify myself. We went to Badrinath. We had 8 days yatra in Badrinath, and there is no facility in Badrinath of a prasad. And then I decided that I and few other brahmachari friends, we decided that we will not eat. We had some boys, they are young and they were needing something. So, we had to arrange some food for them. But then I carried murmura. We used to buy kakadi, we used to buy tomatoes, we used to make salad, offer that salad to Krishna. This murmura was already offered. We used to mix and 8 days we ate only bhel, nothing else. And on the 5th day, bhel got over, and then we started eating only kakadi and tomato. So 8 days we happily lived with that. And I'm present in front of you, alive. Nothing happens to us. So my point is that if we follow this particular thing, there is no harm, there is no trouble. Even mind will also get convinced. Yes, we have to eat only Krishna Prasad, and we'll be very satisfied. And by eating Krishna Prasad, our consciousness will always stay high. As soon as we don't eat Krishna Prasad, as soon as we are trying to eat something else which is not Krishna Prasad, the consciousness will degrade. And considering that only, Prabhupada has created the facility of Govindas, the higher taste, and this and that. Where Jagannath ji is sitting, he is offered bhoga, you get prasadam to eat. We don't have to move out to Gokul or Kana or whatever, XYZ, and then try to enjoy our senses. Okay? See, first of all, anything to be offered to Krishna. Who is Krishna? So if Supreme Personality of Godhead comes in front of you and then you see there is a rose which is already dried up, and then you pick up that rose, Krishna, this is for you. What Krishna is going to do with that? मैं Supreme Lord हूँ, ऐसा नहीं बोलेगा. He'll accept it. But then, being a servant, do you want to offer something like that? You want to offer best to Krishna. So our endeavor has to be offer best to Krishna. If with the pure heart you are offering anything which is, obviously that has to be have, no onion, garlic, tea, coffee, caffeine, intoxicants, all varieties of things. वो ना मतलब ना, वो विकर्म है. But with that, with a very, very rare situation, where there is nothing available, you are helpless, your hand legs are not working. In that situation, if something like that is performed, done, is understood. But otherwise, which our endeavor has to be that I offer best to Krishna. When the best is to offer to Krishna, you are very conscious while cooking also. फिर वो जलेगा नहीं, वो खारा नहीं होगा, वो ओवर स्वीट नहीं होगा या ज़्यादा स्पाइसी नहीं होगा. It will be perfect. Our endeavors will be to make it perfect so that I offer best thing to Supreme Personality of Godhead. We don't offer some rukha sukha, basi, and all varieties of things. And whatever food we are getting outside is what? You know very well. Okay, so it's very important to be offered. We will just complete this purport. Therefore, such a devotees always perform yajnas in different modes of devotional service, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam. And this performance of yajna keeps them always aloof from all kinds of contamination of a sinful association in the material world. Others who prepare food for the self or sense gratification are not only thieves but also eaters of all kind of sin. How can a person be happy if he is both a thief and sinful? It is not possible. Therefore, in order for people to become happy in all respect, they must be taught to perform easy process of Sankirtan Yajna in full Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, there can be no peace or happiness in this world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We'll stop here. Yes, we'll end today. I have multiple things today. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So please eat only Krishna Prasad. Hare Krishna, Ajay Krishna Prabhu, Adinath Prabhu, Hare Krishna.